couple of simulators, and this was like very responsive, especially the hydraulics and stuff. The motion and stuff was really, really on point.
Make you feel like you're really driving. It feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, it's a whole different animal this week. You've seen this track before. But here tonight, it's going to be the Gen 6. Live from the virtual Kansas Speedway. For the Track Champion Series. Presented by VRX. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. Solo up here in the booth this week. We get set for another great show of 70 laps here on Vspeed. Kansas Speedway, of course, the 1.5 mile oval. You're all familiar with it at this point. I'd have to say that this place goes down in history as one of my favorite places to race. Got a victory here in the QSR Simulations Xfinity Series. So I know my way around this place, and what I can tell you here tonight with this car and track and time of day, it's going to be a tough one to get past anyone. But it's kind of a little bit of deja vu. We have a redemption here. We've got some familiar names. We also have a familiar name up on the pole, but there it is. The 17 degrees of banking, the progressive banking here at this racetrack, 10 degrees on the front stretch, and of course, about 3 to 5 on the backstretch. Four Corner Tri-Oval opened June 1st, 2001, and since then, it has put on a phenomenal amount of racing out here in the Midwest. Race analysis coming up on your screen, 70% laps. We're going to make it about 24 laps on fuel, maybe a little bit more than that if you stretch it out. So anywhere from 22 to 26. And then, of course, the iRacing Fix setup. No fast repairs in this league as well, so you have to keep that in mind if you're going to do well. There's the schedule up on your screen right quick as we get set to go pacing. Let's take you track side. Get that grid up on your screen. Starting on the pole here tonight with a 30.884, it's going to be Morgan Cook in the number 51 machine. To his outside, Chris Phillips in the number 6. Second row is going to go with Justin Ritchie, Casey Ellis in the number 35. John Sanu and Dakota Floyd in 5th and 6th. 7th spot goes to Bill Daniels. Then it moves on to Jason Chilton, and Benjamin Richards. Let us spot Julian Conde. Might have butchered that. Thomas Watts. There's PJ Cox and Brian Hennings. We're getting set to go green. John Hudson, I was a little late on the point side. We'll get those up on your screen. But green flag is out. We're live and racing. And I have a schedule on my screen for whatever reason. Out of turn one. Morgan Cook is going to lead that first one. Gets a little check up there through the tri-oval, and Chris Phillips is going to dive to the inside, but the 51 back on the outside, holding on to the point. That outside line is going to get runs all day long. So Phillips trying to figure out a way around, but looks like it's moved up to the outside already very early in this race. And almost wide open there for Morgan Cook as he goes into 1 and 2. Justin Ritchie side by side with Casey Ellis here out of the exit. Trying to hold on to it here and gain a position. Casey Ellis peeked to the inside down the backstretch, not able to get around. Side by side just behind him there, that's Bill Daniels and Dakota Floyd. Daniels gonna get the cross and the slide job out of turn 2. Here's the crossover from Floyd to the bottom. Not going to be able to do it here. Back here deeper in the field, though, it looks like Doug Helfer is losing some positions. Johnson New lost 17 here from the start. Not sure if he elected to start from the grid, offset 3 wide just ahead of him here. Morgan Cook continues to lead. And bringing it down pit road already. It looks like John Sanu having some technical issues here to start this race out. So the Vspeed machine of Morgan Cook is out front, holding on to this lead. Already at the 20 lap mark for fuel. It's one of the difficult things about this racetrack is it's just so hard to pass. You can see Richie down there trying to run the bottom, car in the wall. That was Phillips. He might lose a spot here. You see him backing up in the corner on that entry. Top 3 pulled away a little bit here from Daniels. They might continue to surge as Phillips goes to the bottom, but it's not going to prevail. Still looking off the back of Morgan Cook's machine. Back here at Phillips, you can see some side-by-side there. Back there with PJ Cox. Looks like Jason Chilton is going to get by, almost into the wall. PJ Cox tags it there. I wanted to talk about the points there briefly. It was actually... I'm not sure who that car is in the 05. Yeah, that's PJ Cox. We had Jason Chilton, Wade Palmer. A few different people were players in that situation. Dakota Floyd on the inside. Casey Ellis Gonna hold to the outside here on lap number 10. Oh, he gets a little wiggly loose here. He's gonna give up the position. Gonna dive it back to the inside in 3 and 4. Doesn't want to give up the spot, but at this point, you almost have to back up your corners and run the outside. Just kind of bite the bullet at this point. You made the mistake. Now it's a matter of setting up your corners side by side back here again with PJ Cox and Wade Palmer. Jerry Bergeron just behind them. Offset 3 wide, Bergeron to the bottom of Cox. He's going to go to the inside here through the tri-oval. Might get a 2-for-1 special as Hennings gets dropped back. The Hornet's Nest back here for Bergeron. Still trying to figure out where he wants to go. So still holding on to the lead is Morgan Cook, but this is something right here. This is something we need to pay attention to. This is 7th position all the way back to 11th with Hennings. And now Ward joining into the crowd. Great racing here. Almost 4 wide, Ellis in the wall. And Casey Ellis just barely clips it here. On board again with the lime green Ghost Machine. Henning's gonna dive to the inside. The racing back here is intense. This is for the top 10 as Hennings gets into the top 10 spots. And Hennings gets past Ellis as well as the 35. We got a caution, car turned around. That looks like the 55 of Justin Ritchie making a mistake here on lap 15. So let's go back a little bit here and find it on our Vspeed instant replay. This is out of the exit of 1 and 2. They caught back up to Morgan Cook. Let's see if the 55 tries to go to the inside of Phillips here. Or if he just naturally gets tight, he's running right behind. Yep. I thought that might be the case here. Pass to the inside. The 6 car tags the wall. Back it up one more time. Look at it from the blimp camera. 55 is going to go to the inside here. 6 is going to try to play defense, but gets into the wall. And there he is sideways. And we're right on board with the 6 car, and we'll show you how hard it is to judge this. A lot of wheel into it here for Phillips. Both those cars were washing up, though. Both Ritchie and Phillips washing up. I don't know that Phillips really got into him here. Give me your opinion here in the chat. Yes, solo today, Wired Orange. I don't know. Say if Phillips doesn't tag that wall, maybe the situation's a little bit better, but could have been worse, could have been better. Bill Daniels coming down pit road. Jerry Bergeron. It looks like Morgan Cook hit the pit lane. A few drivers electing to stay out here. Well, we have an opportunity. We're going to pull Justin Ritchie up into the broadcast booth. Justin Ritchie, it's Bradley Cooper up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. What's going on, Bradley?
I tell you what, Justin, it probably looked like you could have cleared had the 6 not hit the wall, but at the same time, you guys didn't have a lot of room there. What was your take on it?
Well, I mean, I was just content with riding in third there. And then when we were exiting 4, he checked up so much that I felt like I couldn't just stick behind him there or I'd lose all my momentum. So I tried to duck down below, then I guess he got tight into the wall, and once he made contact, there's not enough room for 2 cars there at that point, so I wasn't able to clear him. And yeah, now I'm in last, but most of my damage was fixed. I don't have any more optional, so we'll see where we go from here.
Pretty minimal there as far as, you know, hitting the wall, hitting a car, and bouncing around a little bit, but you started up in the top 3. Do you feel like that car still has the speed to get back up there?
We'll see once we get rolling. Can't see how bad the damage is on the front end, but where I nosed into the wall, I hope I don't have any engine damage. If everything is fine, we'll see. I'm on an alternate tire strategy now. I didn't take tires, just being back here in the field. So hopefully don't we get collected again and we can make a push for the win.
Well, it looks pretty good on the front end of that Amp Energy 55. Anybody want to shout out real quick while we got you up here?
Shout out to all the Orange Speed bros. Shout out to you for this broadcast. Hopefully I get to talk to you soon.
And for that. Thank you for your time, Justin.
Thank you.
Justin Ritchie, driver in number 55, as we get set to double back up. Wade Palmer, number 43, electing to start on the outside for this restart. This will be the second time here today that we've seen the iRacing pace car out on the racetrack, and it will get out of the way. I can tell you, Connor, it's going to be Tony Richards up there in race control. Points are going to come up on your screen here momentarily. There's what it looks like after 2 weeks. This is the last one of the daytime races. Dakota Floyd leading the points here with PJ Cox and Brian Hennings in the top 3. Green flag is out. Jerry Bergeron on the green flag. We're back into turn 1. Oh, Hennings loose off the wall. He lost 7 spots with that move right there. Now 3 wide. Almost 4 wide there. The 8 of Aguilar is going to go to the bottom. Thought maybe he was going to try and move. Pressure tires working their way through this field. And Morgan Cook back to the point. Holding on to it here on the outside line. You have to wall ride. We're right on board here for a lap. Look back here at the 3 wide just behind him, as Dakota Floyd tries to chase him down. And the yellow flag is out. Not sure who that was there. Looks like Jared Epker, maybe. We're going to take a replay and see if we can figure this out. Looks like Epker touched the grass there through the tri-oval. Back it up one more time. He might have had a little bit of help here. 6-car Phillips. Phillips gets sent to the inside. Just straight to the pit stall. Epker just got clipped there. It looked like the 6 came up a little bit. And who was that? Was that Collins that was in the 707? Yes, it was. It's right on board with him. You're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. And there you go. That brings a whole slew of cars down pit road, but if you stay out here, it looks like Morgan Cook's going to come in and top off. But a few cars staying out. Looks like Cook not going to get outwitted on the strategy this time. Remember last week started on the pole in the B car. Starts on the pole this week as well. But, yeah, we got quite a few people in this Discord. Let's see if we can dial up our new race leader. Appear that Chilton is not in the Discord currently, so we're gonna go just behind him. Jerry Bergeron got that last restart up on the front. Jerry Bergeron's Bradley Cooper in the Vspeed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I've got a copy, my friend.
All right, Jerry, I got to ask you, man, that last restart didn't go quite according to plan, but this time around, you're in a little bit better situation, a little more even tires around you. What's your plan here for this next one?
Well, talking about even tires, I'm selling my 4 original tires from the beginning of the race, so I'm going to try to keep my end because I want to change my tires around halfway, you know, a little more than halfway.
But don't let the cat out of the bag just yet, Jerry. I mean, they got a lot of strategies around this place, and for 70 laps, only, 25, 26 laps on fuel. How hard is it to decide when to take tires and when not to?
Well, I'm checking my my tires, what the wear is. It's pretty good, my wear. It's not too bad so far, so I'm decided to keep them going.
Well, outside of that, Jerry, is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we put you back there?
Oh, this is my girlfriend, Sylvie, which she's giving me every little smiles tonight to have some racing fun.
There you go. Appreciate that. Well done there, getting some points. Even if you don't win this race, you might win tonight, buddy.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Jerry Bergeron in the number 1. He's going to restart on the outside, as it appears. The number 4 electing to take the inside. So a little mix-up here with the top 10. Chilton, Bergeron, Ellis, Cox, Pillar, Watts, Spiker, and Richie Daniels. Top 10 has kind of flip-flopped. You got 14 spots gained here for Jerry Bergeron on the outside of Chilton, who's gained 8. You've got 10 spots gained for PJ Cox. How about 14 and 11 gained for both the Spiker family? Why don't you say we ride on board here with Greg Spiker for this restart? If you want to see what a 190 mile per hour traffic jam feels like, here we go on old tires for this next one on lap 26. Third of the way through. Let's turn up the volume. going sideways for 70. And it looks like Justin Ritchie gets the short end of the stick again here. 70 continues to go around. Yellow flag is not out. Steven Aguilar is on the infield grass. The chaos ensues here. Side by side, out of turn 2, Bill Daniels to the inside of Thomas Watts. Now going after another one. Greg Pillar. Here come the fresh tires from the 28. Passing them like they're sitting still. Remember, Daniels had a really good showing in quite a few races. Oh, and the 32 gets tight there. Oh, it looks like the 43 to the inside wall. He's going to save it. Wade Palmer holds on to it. Let's back that up a little bit. What a save there from the 43 car. After Morgan Cook got into him, but he goes down pit road for some reason. I think the 43 could live to fight another day. Pretty minimal damage, but he elects to bring it down pit road. And Morgan Cook has worked his way up into the top 5. Ryan Hennings all over the back bumper here as they go through 1 and 2. Dives to the inside. Hennings look to pull away on the top 5 spots. Jason Chilton has pulled out to 1.3 seconds already. Approaching the halfway mark in this race. EJ Cox has taken over second spot. Remember, he had problems earlier in this race. 05 was sideways, had door bangs. He fell through the field a couple times. He's worked his way back up to second position. Bill Daniels in third on the fresher tires, car in the wall just behind him. It looked like Morgan Cook got a piece of it there. Ryan Hennings lurking just behind. Jerry Bergeron, who we talked to just during that caution, has fallen back to the 8th spot now. Starting the 16th, he's still up. However, looks like the old tires not favoring this machine. Continues to fall back. Unfortunate here for Bergeron. Greg Pillar in 10th spot, just behind him. Casey Ellis. Thomas Watts looks like a trade for a lap down machine. Not sure who that is that just got in between them there. Looks like the 18 of Julian Conde, if I'm pronouncing that right. We do have driver camera. Riding on board here with the number 18. And had connection issues just prior to this race, so we don't have telemetry with a name. But we do have the driver camera. And I tell you what, that looks like a guy that you probably don't want to break into his house. 36 laps, 37 on the board here. 36 complete. As soon as my timing and scoring updates, pass for the lead there. Happened just a moment ago, so let's go back on the Vspeed instant replay. Take a look at this pass for the lead by PJ Cox. Up here on the outside, out of turn 2, he's able to take the point away. Back it up even further. He's going to get a good run here out of turns 3 and 4. He was already to the outside. The 4 almost slides up into him. And he's going to take over the spot here. Hennings has worked his way up to 4th as well. Just throw out there that he's on the backside of this battle for the lead. Almost some contact there with the 05. And the number 4. Chilton and Cox almost door touch. Daniels gets by on the outside. Oh, we're looking at 3 wide here. Does Hennings want to take it there? Looking for some aggressive moves. He's going to peek to the outside, get the nose cut off. He will get back around Daniels. Back on board with the 74. Big run out of 2. I'm too drunk to taste this chicken. I love it. Five-way battle for the lead. Actually, 6-way battle as you go back to Morgan Cook there, just behind this. Remember that was the pole sitter here tonight. Pole sitter trying to figure out a way around all of this. Dive for a second spot, though, as Hennings goes to the inside of the 4 of Chilton. He's going to try to pass for the lead. Started back in 14th, now up to 2nd. Now to the lead. Dive to the inside of PJ Cox. Doesn't quite get him cleared here. Out of 2, he's going to dive it back to the middle. Taking the inside to the middle low line here. Hennings is going to fit maybe in that hole right there out of 4. Almost some contact. Going to give some room to the 4 car and dive it back to the bottom. He can clear right here if he slides up in front of him. He's got to slide up now. There it is. The battle for the lead. We've got a pass back there for 5th. That's Morgan Cook getting around Bill Daniels. Now way up on the high line for the 74. What a battle up here for the lead. To the inside again is Chilton. Almost 3 wide for the front spot. Big run out of turn 3 or turn 2. Dakota Floyd puts his nose into 3rd. And up to 4th now for Cook. This is where Brian Hennings wants to be. He put his car where it needed to be out of the exit to turn 4. He's going to run the high line here on PJ Cox. He's going to take over the lead here out of the exit to turn 2. And so a new leader here for the moment. Brian Hennings takes over the point. Cox starting to fall back, almost 3 wide just behind. It is 3 wide through the tri-oval. How about that? Morgan Cook up the middle and the 4's around. Right across the nose of Dakota Floyd. And here on lap 45, halfway through this race, beyond halfway, 10 laps past it. Heavy right-end damage to the 4 car. So we saw that kind of unfold there. See if we can get a better angle on it here. See the check up there by the 24 Floyd. Up through the middle is the 51. And a little squeeze there from PJ Cox that might have sent the 4 car up a little higher than he intended. I think minimal damage though for both of those cars. Not the worst case scenario as you see them coming down pit road here. Chilton's going to get that damage fixed. But Brian Hennings is your leader, leading him down pit road. Into the stall for the 74. 51 has that first pit stall. Let's see if he can win the battle off of pit road. 74 and 51 going to duel it out. Looks like 4 tires for pretty much everybody. Hennings down and away. It's going to be a close one here. And that first stall prevails. Morgan Cook gets the run out. He's going to be your leader for this next restart. But Hennings just behind him. He showed that he has the speed. See if we can dial up the 74 team. Brian Hennings, Bradley Cooper in the Vspeed booth, and looks like we have the soundboard still activated in this room as well.
Sorry.
Just catches me off guard every time.
All good. What's going on, sir?
Well, Brian, you were able to get around everybody. You got up there to the point, but that battle off pit road, very, very close, within a couple hundredths of a second. What's it going to take here? You've got some guys in front that are on different strategies. It looks like you and probably the top 5 could run away.
Yeah, I mean, we can make it here on fuel. Know that. Yeah, coming out of pit, Morgan's got that first spot, so I probably could have came close to trying to speed to get the spot, but it's okay. I mean, we're up here. Yeah, I think tires is the right call, I hope. Looks like most of us that are up here took tires, so just hope it's the right call. We'll see how it plays out.
Well, and you want to go back to the beginning of this race. You were mid-pack in this field, and there's quite a few DNFs. You had people that were up here in the top 10 earlier in this race that are no longer a part of it, such as Justin Ritchie, Wade Palmer, Chris Phillips, even Bill Daniels. They're all out of the picture now. Do you feel like that just even heightens the chances that you go out here and snag a win?
Yes, and also what is he running today? Yeah, the 24, Mr. Floyd. But I think my biggest challenge will be this Vspeed card in front of me, Mr. Cook in the 51.
Well, you're looking fast out there. I know he was riding that bumper through pit road.
Yes, he was.
Making sure you were hitting the pit road speed limit, but
I was.
Brian, I tell you what, man, we're getting double back up. Anybody want to shout out while we got you up here?
Just Vspeed at the moment. Hopefully we'll be up here again for some kind of interview. And any family and friends that might be watching, that's about it for now.
You're in race room quiet, correct?
I was with Aggiar, yeah.
Well, there you go. I think I put him back in the right place. All right. It's Brian Hennings in the number 74. Going to start on the outside of the front row. Did you like how I did that? I'm not going to show my bias here on Vspeed, even though there's a Vspeed card leading this field around for the next restart. Recap up on your screen will be the 4th time today that the pace cars had to turn left. 6 lead changes. We're coming up on lap number 50. 21 to go when they hit the stripe. Pace car out of the way. And hopefully everybody is settled in for what should be another great restart. Green flag's out. We're back underway. Dive to the inside here for the lead, right out of turns 1 and 2. PJ Cox gets up to 2nd. Hennings gives him a little shove at trying to get Cook going here, but PJ Cox is going to take over the point. And just like that, within a lap. And diving to the bottom of the racetrack, you got the 8. Steve Aguilar is going to the bottom, trying to pick up some spots. Remember, he won the first race in the Truck Series. The trucks here at Kansas, B-Car started up towards the front, didn't have as good of a run there. Looking for a little redemption as he works up to 4th. And he's all over the back bumper of Hennings. Loose out of 2. Almost loses the back end, but still into the top 5. Hennings goes by for 2nd. He's going to try to take the point back. He gets around the 51 Vspeed machine. Contact. Thought we were about to have another caution. It's a 6-way, 7-way, 8-way battle for the lead. Top 10 pulls away. In the 1 of Jerry Bergeron to the bottom. 707 of Collins almost into the wall. Steven Aguilar is almost contact off of 4. And battling for the 3rd spot now into 1, Jerry Bergeron. Over the back bumper of PJ Cox is, looks like Morgan Cook got back around Brian Hennings. 3 wide, contact. Bergeron holds on to it. Spiker down there. That was Greg Spiker in the number 65 machine, I believe. This is number 10 actually labeled out here on the sim. Morgan Cook better be looking in his mirror because he has Steven Aguilar all over the back bumper here. They're offset 3 wide. Looks like the 707 of Collins overcorrects it. And trouble down the backstretch. Ellis involved, the 56 of Richards. An overcorrection brings out a caution. Most yellows I think we've had so far in the first 2, now 3 races, bringing that average up out of turn 2. This is just a matter of a little overcorrection. Let's back it up here and right on the blimp camera with the 707 of David Collins. Gonna see him go down here and get a little bit tight, oversteer, and then overcorrect back to the outside. Just one to the other, to the other. Casey Ellis gets involved. Looks like Greg Spiker's involved. Ellis just gets clipped here, but let's watch on board with the 56. I think it was the 83. Labeled as the 83 anyway. Thomas Watts. Let's go on board with him. Did a great job keeping it off the wall there. And off of pit road there for the 83 machine. Well, you've got another race leader. You got your pole sitter just behind him. Then you've got a one-time winner just behind in third. So we get set next time by to go green. You're watching the Track Champion Series live here on Vspeed. Don't go anywhere. Coverage is going to continue for about a 10-lap shootout when we come back.
I played a couple of simulators and this was like very responsive, especially the hydraulics and stuff, the motion and stuff was really, really on point.
Make you feel like you're really driving, it feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Here live from the Kansas Speedway. 10-lap shootout here for the finish. Your pole sitter on the outside, PJ Cox, Stephen Aguiar, Brian Hennings, Reen Hasp. I haven't mentioned that name much today. He's going to start in the 5th spot. Green flag is out. We're back underway. Good match on the speed there from Cook. He'll have the preferred line going into turn 1. Gets the nose cut off there, all over the back bumper of PJ Cox as Morgan Cook gives him a shove. Teresa Spiker back there battling for the 7th spot. Dives to the inside, and we've got a yellow flag. Looks like Greg Spiker brings it down pit road. Not entirely sure here exactly what happened. Green Hasp was up there in the top 5. It looked like he didn't get a good restart here. Heavy contact there between Sanu and the 66 machine of Edward Fiedler. Back that up one more time to see exactly how that all unfolded. There's contact down the backstretch, and then Fiedler gets loose. Looked like air off the spoiler, but gonna back that up one more time. It looked like he got down into the 4 car, got up into the wall here. And let's back that up a little bit. This is on the restart. Chilton got into the wall. No, this isn't. Is this Chilton here? No, this is the 24 Floyd. Let's back this up again. Something's a little bit broken here. A hasp and the wrong car number. Okay, it's a 07. That's what I was trying to find. He gets up into the wall right here. No, he doesn't get into the wall, but he just lets a ton of cars go by. And then right here, things just unfold. Right in front of 35, Casey Ellis. He's already been involved in one thing today. It's just one after another with a 35. Casey Ellis, Bradley Cooper in the Vspeed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do. How are you?
I could say I'm doing better than you. You've been a part of pretty much every single thing that's went wrong on this racetrack here today. You've either been a part of it or been right behind it, and it looks like that 35 car with less than 5 to go has to find its way back to where it started.
I doubt that's going to happen, but we're going to give it our best shot.
Well, it's been a lot here today. The racing started out pretty clean, but it looked like once that first caution happened, things got a little more strenuous, and maybe there's a little more anxiety on the racetrack. What's your take on it?
It certainly seems that way. I'm a little frustrated at the moment, so I'm gonna be nice and hold my tongue, but it's definitely a lot of all give, no, or all take, no give, the other way around. Sorry, and I don't know. It's just a lot of frustration, a lot of urgency. I think that's the word that I'm looking for.
Definitely a lot of that out there on the racetrack, but you're going to restart here just outside the top 10. What's the chances here for a top 5?
I mean, if there's a sport ender in front of us, then maybe. But at this point, my car is crippled. I think my only advantage is the fact that I'm good on fuel and have new tires. So that might, but the arrow's kind of borked on this car. So we'll give it our best shot.
Anybody you'd like to shout out before we put you back there?
Oh man, everybody. Greg, Lily, the other more pointy Lily. Cameron, if you're watching, what's up, buddy? Hope we can race after this. And Doug. That's pretty much it. I can't think what I'm driving. My apologies.
It's all good, man. We'll put you back down there in race room quiet number 2, all right?
Thank you kindly.
Casey Ellis in the number 35. He's going to restart here just outside the top 10. PJ Cox, Morgan Cook, Steven Aguiar, Brian Hennings, Jerry Bergeron, the top 5. Teresa Spiker, Doug Heffler, John Houston, Thomas Watts, Casey Ellis. Here we go for what could be the final restart of the day. Matching the speed again is Morgan Cook. He has another preferred line into turn 1. And a great run here on the outside. The 51 of Cook pinches him down a little bit. He's going to try to take away the lead. And that's what you have to do. You got to push that guy to the inside, make sure he can't get the run out of turn 2. Morgan Cook takes over the point, but there's a winner just behind him. Is Morgan Cook going to add his name to the list, or is there going to be a second win for the 8? Steven Aguiar right behind him here. So we wind down, 4 to go, 3 to go with across the stripe. Peek to the inside with the 8 car. A dirty air affecting the front end of these machines. Hennings works his way back to the top 3. Good run out of turn 4 for the 74. EJ Cox into the wall. That's going to allow Jerry Bergeron to the inside. 2 laps to go when they cross the line now. Morgan Cook started on the pole last week. Wasn't able to get the finish that he felt he deserved. He's going to try to turn it all around and get his first victory of the season. The Track Champion Series. 9 races. He's going to add a tally mark to that book. Cars into the wall just behind him. Is he in cruise control mode for these next 1.5 miles? White flag in the air. One more time around Kansas Speedway. Move to the inside for PJ Cox. Not going to be able to get by Brian Hennings. Racing just behind with John Hudson, Doug Heffler outside the top 10. Teresa Spiker holding on to 10. 3 wide just behind, but across the line for his first win of the season. Morgan Cook is gonna be victorious with 26 laps led. How about that for the 51 car? The trifecta. Led the most laps. Started on the pole. And he's going to win the race. Burn it down Vspeed style. Post-race interviews with your top 3. We're going to have final results coming up. But Morgan Cook is going to get the win. Steve Aguiar, Brian Hennings, the top 3. You're watching the Track Champion Series here on Vspeed. More coverage is going to continue right after this.
I played a couple of simulators, and this was like very responsive. Especially the hydraulics and stuff, the motion and stuff was really, really on point.
Make you feel like you're really driving. It feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live from Kansas Speedway, the Track Champion Series. I keep wanting to call it Track Master, but we have yet to see who has mastered this Midwestern Speedway of 1.5 miles. They have concluded 70 laps here today. Tell you what, it was a good one. There was a lot going on. The strategies, the mix-ups, the top 5, the top 10, changing hands several times. But final results up on your screen. 5 cautions for 8 lead changes. I believe that's the most we've had thus far in the 3 races we've completed. For the Gen 6, it's Morgan Cook, who started in first. Steve Aguilar is going to come from 22nd up to 2nd position. 20 spots gained. There is Brian Hennings in the top 3. PJ Cox, who was up front a lot of the day, is going to get 4th. Good top 5 for him. Looks like Thomas Watts in 5th spot with Jerry Bergeron in 6th. Benjamin Richards in 7th with Casey Ellis in 8th. 9th, John Sanu. And Teresa Spiker, take that, Greg, is going to finish in the top 10. 11th goes to the number 3 of John Hudson with Doug Heffler in 12th spot. Edward Fiedler is going to finish in 13th with Reen Hasp in 14th. David the Collinator Collins is going to finish 15th. 16th spot goes to Jason Chilton. Julian Conde in 17th. Dakota Floyd, not the finish he wanted, in 18th spot after starting at 6th. Going to be 18th spot for him. 19th is going to go to Greg Pillar, and Greg Spiker is going to round out. It looks like my timing is scoring a little mixed up here with everything, but on my list it was Spiker in 20th, but it looks like Greg Pillar, maybe a black flag there, so he's going to be in 20th, and looks like Spiker is going to work out to 19th. 21st spot goes to Bill Daniels with Warren Cook. Actually, it's all over the place here. It looks like Palmer and Cook are mixed up as well on my scoring sheet. So we're going to go with Justin Ritchie, who had problems starting in 3rd, not the race he wanted as well. Wade Palmer works his way up to the 22nd position. My timing and scoring is broken, so I just want to say that. Chris Phillips is going to finish 25th here with Jared Epker in 26th. And it looks like Tony Richards, our track steward of the day, is going to round out that field. She was race control for tonight. Did not elect to grid. So that brings us to our post-race interviews. And I hit the wrong button, so let's try to get a driver up here. First one on the mark, on the docket, it's Brian Hennings, and we have more crashing. Yes. It gets me every time, man. I try to keep my composure, but every time I'm surprised by it.
I did have a 9X, but still kept saying my car was clean, no damage.
A 9X
Yes.
with a third place finish. I mean, that's pretty good. You led 3 laps. We talked to you there a little past mid race. You felt like the situation was good, but then, cautions, precautions, situations change.
Yeah.
Everybody on restarts is trying to grab some real estate. That's really the only way you can get around somebody.
Yeah, I mean, PJ, he kept going really late. I mean, I kind of bumped Morgan there a little bit, gave him a little get going. I don't know. I mean, everyone goes when they decide to go. Yeah, I had a pretty good shot there. I kind of still felt like I was faster in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's just hard to pass here. And I didn't want to clip somebody trying to pass him and wreck him. So another podium, I will take it.
Well, I tell you, it's hard to pass and it's hard to restart here. Just trying to get this thing going. What was your take on the last 2 attempts there before we ran it out for those last 5 laps?
I did get a little loose off one, and then I think on the other one, I think I did clip the wall a little bit at one point down the track. It's just, you don't want to get it on too much, otherwise you'll just pitch that car right if you stomp it, and it's just hard sometimes with these restarts, and it is what it is. I tried going for a pass at one point, and yeah, didn't work too well. So on to the next day and night transition. So I think we're all kind of looking forward to that and get rid of these high track temps.
We forgot to mention the weather, but it was rather hot out there, 121 degrees to end this thing out here tonight, just on the top of the screen there. Brian, while we have you up here, I got to ask, what is your feeling here with the Champion Series and what's going on? I know you're a big part of it, and you've been with me personally, getting me in VRX and getting me involved. But what's your take on this group of people, and would you have it any other way?
I honestly wouldn't. They're the first group that I met, and I figured when I got into this, I would meet some people, and probably should start hanging out with them. And I don't know, we're kind of more of like a family atmosphere. We're not all super duper serious about everything, but we all try to help each other and learn. It's a good group of people to be part of. And Robert Stanners, he's a super guy. I mean, he's great. We found you guys in Vspeed. It's great to have a great broadcasting crew with you guys. But yeah, VRX it's a lot of good people. It's been a very positive feedback with this series. People are loving the whole idea of it. One track, different cars, and the whole day to night switch over. So it's definitely going to continue. We'll probably do like, I don't know, Vegas or Michigan next. That'll be decided, but it's definitely something we're going to keep doing because we've had a lot of positive feedback from this type of series.
Well, as long as you don't run Talladega, I just you know me.
Pacing super speedway, COT cars.
And
No,
if
thank
you
you.
could get somebody else up into the booth, so I could be out there on the racetrack with you. Those are 2 things I want to
Yes.
organize. But hey,
we'll make it happen.
I appreciate your time, Brian. While we have you up here in the booth with another podium finish, anybody you'd like to shout out?
Once again, you, Mr. Cooper, and Vspeed. Can't wait to go back and watch it again. Again, Robert Sanders and everyone at VRX, all my teammates, Benji, Teresa, Collins, Aguiar. Aguiar was quite helpful tonight. My wife and daughter, of course. Love you guys. Any family and friends that might be watching. And last little thing, don't forget to ask Morgan about this car, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay. I will
Have a good one.
ask him about the car. All right. Appreciate your time, man.
You too. Thank you.
It's Brian Hennings finishing 3rd here tonight in the 3rd race of the Track Champion Series. That brings us to our 2nd place finisher. It's the guy that I butcher his name no matter what, right here in 2nd position, Steven Aguiar. Did I get it right that time?
Yes, sir.
All right, Steve, I tell you what, man, you clawed your way through this field. You probably felt like you passed 1 million cars to get here to the podium. You didn't add a second one to the list, but you did add another podium up here. What did it feel like out there tonight?
It was brutal. I botched my Q lap, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be hell coming from 22nd. But you know what? Stood stuck with my strategy and just picked them off one by one slowly, and that's all I prayed for.
Boy, that in itself is very difficult to do, and I don't know, the strategy helped with that, picking off some cars or maybe, just situations, but you worked your way up to the top 5 and then started to really show the strength of what that car was capable of. However, how frustrating is it? I saw it out there. This car got really tight in traffic.
It's the arrow. Once I got behind Morgan, that was it. I'm like, if I go to the bottom, I'm gonna push up, take both of us out. It was like, okay, pray he maybe hit the wall and I can get maybe to the middle and pass him. But other than that, I had to settle for what it is because he's a very competitive driver and great on his win. But you know what? We got podium, baby, coming from mid pack.
Well, and this might switch up the points there. We had Dakota Floyd, who recently got hacked on Discord. I would like to thank him for giving me that link. Just gotta shout that out there. But Steve, you're sitting here pretty good in the points. We still have about 6 races left here.
6 weeks, yep.
Yep, 6 weeks left in the Track Champion Series. Now we're getting into the day-night transitions. Do you feel like that will change things at all?
Yes, it will. Between mid afternoon and night, there will be definitely 2 lanes instead of 1 lane with this track temp that we have. And I think it's going to be very interesting.
Well, outside of that, Steve, you've shouted them out once this season, already into victory lane in the Truck Series. You get another podium here tonight in the Gen 6. Anybody you'd like to shout out?
Yep, thanks to the VRX, all the teams and leagues that are in this race. Great competitive drivers. Congratulate on Morgan, Brian, you name it, from Mama T up, from Benji, Robert Stannis. The list can go on and on and on. And thank you for doing what you do best. Amazing. And on to next week. Can't wait.
Well, if you think this is what I do best, get me on the track. I feel like I could tear this place up.
We've been there, done that.
Scratching the itch, man.
Yes.
I'm sitting here just begging to get out of here on this racetrack. I see so much going on this place that I'm just like, man, that's not how I would have done it. But you guys did a phenomenal job. I know there was quite a few cautions, but congrats on the top 3.
Thank you so much, Bradley.
We'll see you next week, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Steven Aguiar in the second position here for week number 3. And finally, that brings us to victory lane, where Morgan Cook. I don't know if I need to let you self-interview. I've never really thought about this. You run the broadcast booth on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and soon to be Mondays. What format should we run this in, Morgan?
Oh, that's a great question. I think what we should do first off is just mention how I beat Dakota for the first time in like a year and a half. That's really high on the list. Yeah. I don't know if Brian mentioned he wanted you to ask about how I feel about the car. We'll get to that second, and then just maybe about the race in general, and then we can do the whole who you want to thank thing for that. How does that sound to you, Mr. Broadcaster?
That sounds excellent. That sounds excellent. So let's go with the first question that you had out there for yourself, and it was basically, it stems from you beat Dakota Floyd. I know when he's on the racetrack, he gets in your head. That's what I heard. He gets in my Discord DMs and likes to give me links. So, outside of losing your Discord, how difficult was it to beat the 24?
Well, so it seems like recently when we've been in the chat, he's the one who drives the strategy. And I always seem to be on the wrong end of the strategy. I don't know why. It works out for him. It doesn't work out for me. He's better at saving tires than I am. I think we all have noticed that by now. But today, obviously, got caught up in the accident, and that sucks. But before the accident happened, I was right with him. I led, obviously, the first section of the race. And then when we were working up through traffic, I was right on his back bumper. We caught the top 3, and we were ready to go. And it was just going to be him and I, and probably Hennings. battling out for the win. It feels good to finally finish ahead of him on the chart. I just hope the next time we'll both be running at the end of the race on the lead lap with undamaged cars, and we can settle it that way. Because I used to have his number in VSRL when I'd put him in the fence every week, but it's been a while since the VSRL days.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and we're looking to fire that back up here on Vspeed. September 9th, I believe, was the date that you gave
That's
me.
right.
On
That's
so
right.
There you go. Hey, sometimes I remember stuff.
Well done.
So that brings me to the next thing I have to remember, and that is you mentioned something about Brian Henning's car. He mentioned it in his post-race interview, but I need filled in because I have absolutely no clue what we're talking about.
Sure. So this session went live about an hour and a half ago. I bought this car about an hour and 40 minutes ago. I have never driven this car before, and I kind of like it.
I almost spit out my beer, honestly, on that. That's a flex there, Morgan. That's a flex. You better not say that too loud. That right there.
Tonight.
Okay, so yeah, it was fun. It looked fun, but it's kind of similar to other cars, right? You can kind of put it in the same wheelhouse as what the B car did, where everybody's running the outside. The temperatures were similar. It was very hot out there. The high line was kind of the way to go.
Yeah, that's true. It's like the B car, but a lot more on throttle time, especially early in the run. This thing really sticks for the first 5 or so laps in the run. But the tires fall off much faster than the B car. And you're never really sure if it's the front or the right front or the right rear that's going to go first. It just kind of gives up, and you find yourself in a bit of a tough spot. But we were able to back it up. That part of that was following Dakota. I kind of burned the stuff up in the first run. Then we had that early caution at lap 14, put tires on it, went back with Dakota into the back of the field, and just kind of worked our way forward. And he was catching us pretty good in that first run. So I thought, if I can just hang with him, run his speed, I'll be able to do the same thing and just hang with him the whole time. And it worked out. Obviously, he had the issue, and then I was able to leapfrog him that way. And from there, it was just keeping in front of Steven and Brian.
And you had your hands full. I saw in a couple of those restarts there with PJ Cox that you got right to the outside. It looked like you were able to match the speed on those restarts. Did you kind of have him set in stone on where he was going, or was it just luck? What exactly happened there?
So a great question. The first one was I've noticed that some drivers like to wait till the very end of the restart zone to go. And I was like, okay, well, we'll try it. We'll see. I mean, worst that happens is I'm going to fall back to second, run the top, get a good run. We'll be fine. So I went when I was like, okay, this guy's got to go now. And I even jumped it a little bit. So I had to lift and let him get back ahead of me. And I was like, okay, well, I'll file that one away and just say, you know what? He's probably not going to go that late again. But if he does, I'll be ready for it. And the next restart, whatever it was, 4 laps later, he went late again. I watched the replay. His back tire was at the end of the restart zone when he accelerated. So I was like, I'm going to roll a little bit up to him. And then if he goes early, I'll be okay. If he doesn't go early, I'll time it right. And obviously I was to his door. And then I ran the middle so that he didn't get the good exit. And
yeah, it was a pinch down, I think, that really kind of set that corner and got you to the front.
And then once I got ahead, this thing is the worst car in dirty air I've ever driven. So as soon as you get out front, if you run the guy's line, that's what Steven was saying, probably in his interview. He definitely said it in the booth before. If you run that guy's line, he has no chance to get around you except for a slide job like I tried last week that did not work.
And everybody here on Vspeed watching right now is probably gagging right now because I'm over here fanboying, but it's just I tried my best not to show any bias. Didn't pull you up for a mid-race interview. Did my absolute best, but it looked like that Vspeed machine was fast here tonight. Morgan Cook, anybody you'd like to shout out for tonight's victory?
Yeah, obviously got to shout out Vspeed for putting this production on the internet. Got to thank all the admins of VRX, Brian and Teresa and everyone else who's involved in this to make this track championship come to life. I didn't think I was going to like it. I never really enjoyed Kansas until a few weeks ago. And I like this place now. I'm a fan, and I'm glad to be here, glad to be invited in and be able to run it with everyone. And got to thank the teammates, Dakota, Justin, John, Kyle when he's here. We've had good races on the racetrack with all those guys, and been a lot of fun, and yeah, just looking forward to coming back next week and in the truck in the twilight, and maybe we'll do it again.
In the twilight, he said. So that's going to bring us to the conclusion of this race. Morgan, I appreciate your time. Hope to see you, many, many weeks from now. I'm sure we'll be working together on something at some point. I'll see you around, man.
Right on. Have a good one.
Morgan Cook, victorious here today in week number 3 of the 9 weeks of the Track Champions Series. That is going to bring us to the conclusion of our broadcast. We hope you enjoyed another production. Over 700 videos. We're approaching 1,000. We're probably going to hit that mark here before the end of the year. And if you're not subscribed, well, why not? You're going to get notifications for every single league that you like to watch. Anything that is broadcasted on days that end with Y. But until then, we're going to see you, well, I guess Tuesday. Thought we were going to have some Overtake iRacing League. We got some things to sort out there. But we will be back live Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for the SimRacerHub.com Challenge Series. And then it's Racing Revolution. We've got the Tuesday QSR. We've got the Friday Track Series, of course. And then it's back to Saturday Night Racing. We've got Sunoco on Sunday as well. So I hope you guys can join us for that as well. And for everybody that's out there watching, we appreciate it here on Vspeed very, very much. This is Bradley Cooper telling you to have a great rest of your weekend. I'm going to go have a beer with some friends. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.